Welcome back to another Top 5 episode. This week, we're talking about student excuses. As a teacher, I get the same old excuses over and over and over again. Almost once an assignment, a student is going to say, "My printer broke," or "The email didn't go through." Yeah, you said that the last 15 times, thank you. But every once in a while, I get a really creative or interesting excuse. These are the top 5 excuses that I've heard. Not all of them came from my own students, but they're all from people that I know. Starting in at number 5, although many students claim to be sick on test day and decide to stay home, if you go out of state for surgery, that's a pretty solid and backed up excuse. I once had a student have surgery many states away, and I was very happy to excuse that student for that deadline. At number 4, another health excuse. This one happened to a fellow teacher of mine who gave several tests throughout the semester, then excused students from the final if they did well on all tests in the semester. However, if they completely bombed one of the tests, it was essential that they take the final, and he would under no circumstances excuse the final if you missed a different test. He had a student call him while he was about to administer the test, telling him that the student was on the way to the hospital because he'd been shot. "Will you excuse my test?" asked the student. "No," said the professor. And number 3, we have the famous Paloma's car incident. I had a student who totaled her car, and the next time we had a reading quiz, she said that she couldn't participate because her book was in her totaled car. This isn't that absurd of an excuse, but then all the other students in the classroom who had not read began to claim that their books too were left in Paloma's car. It became sort of a running gag for our classroom. Anytime someone didn't do their work, it had been left in Paloma's car. At number 2, there was once a student who called in for the following excuse. You see, there was a World War II veteran who had had an affair with a French woman during the war. Then, many years later, the long-lost child tracked down the World War II veteran and found him and came to his house with all of her family. It was a great family reunion. The only problem was they all spoke French, and the World War II veteran and his family only spoke English. And they needed someone to translate. So this student called in so that he could spend the day translating for this family. That was me. It was a good excuse. I got away with it, but my teacher was still annoyed. And my number 1 excuse is the time that made me laugh the hardest, which was when one of my students literally thought that what I'd asked them to do was a metaphor. But I thought it was a metaphor! Thanks, Presley. To be fair, it wasn't an actual assignment, it was just to wear boots, because we were going outside that day and going to get in the mud. But every English teacher likes to be taken metaphorically, at least sometimes. Thanks for watching. You can click on one of the other episodes over here, or you can click to subscribe. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.